Welcome back, my sweets and sours. This is Chihirocherry, and I am going to be reviewing Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. I did not want to do this review until I had completed 100% completed this game, and for the fact being, you have to beat it 3 times to 100% this game. This game, man. I mean, you probably all seen the memes and everything. The first boss, the helicopter, definitely the tutorial boss shows you how tough this game is going to be. It tells you how to beat it, but you have no equipment. You can't not change your equipment at the beginning of the game. Once you get past that, it took me like 3 or 4 times. Then the real game begins. The mission structures are pretty fun to play. They are, some are short, some are long. I had really struggled with the first boss, which is the tank. This tank guy can turn around to block his weak point. That was really hard to do. But at that point, you're able to unlock more parts and change your playstyle. And that's the thing about Armored Core, changing playstyles and equipment. So you can circumnavigate these bosses. I had a hard time beating it, but I beat him. I used dual shotguns and a tank build the first time. Then we come to Ball, we'll just call him Ball. You know who I'm talking about. The dude, the flying archangel guy, the missile guy. The final boss, Chapter 1 end boss. That was the realest challenge of Armored Core 6. And people had posted memes like, you're going to get filtered. I almost rage quit so many times with this boss until I figured him out. I tried a dozen builds, and that's what you need to do besides getting good, is to use different builds, customize what weapons work right, what legs work right with this, you know. It's trial and error. Once I beat him, I was so happy. I was like, Chapter 1's done. Chapter 1's done. I had a few difficulty spikes around the rest of the game. And this is your first playthrough, mind you. I didn't struggle again until I hit Ibis. I thought I mastered this game, and then I hit Ibis, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this guy's a piece of shit. He's the end Chapter 4 boss, and that guy, oof. I was able to figure that out. There's a new game plus. When you go around to play that, you can keep all your gear from your first playthrough. And that is what made New Game Plus so much easier. You don't have to fight the first tutorial boss anymore. And then when I got to Baltus, I just used the stun needles. And I used hard lock. I didn't know about hard lock until then. And a tank build. And I just obliterated it. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. There's also different options, missions in New Game Plus. So there's different paths they didn't take. There's the good ending, the bad ending, and the true ending. So you have to beat the game 3 times. And the original playthrough, which I find the most hardest playthrough, because you don't have all the weapons and gear. You unlock arena challenges, just like your standard Armored Core. Love them. And New Game Plus, you unlock an extra side arena. So, more opponents, which is fun. New Game Plus 3, which is the final arc. More story options, more paths, and more weapons. The most powerful weapons in the game, core weapons you unlock. This game ramped up the difficulty a little bit in some spots, but then yet again, I have all the weapons and parts from the previous new game, so easy to deal with. I would give this game an 8 out of 10, only because it lacks certain parts from previous series. When I say certain parts, I mean like extensions with the shoulders on the sides. There's no like extra armor on the sides. There is no missile extensions. So you don't get that extra option equipment or storing weapons in the core. I know you can store ones on the back, so you get like they call them hanger weapons. I think it was in Silent Line. And there was no weapon arms, which are just gun arms basically. And there was no hover legs. So there's lacking just a few equipment options that I'm kind of like, ooh, that sucks. Overall, I'd push it to a 9.5 if they had included that. I'm hoping in the next game that happens. Difficulty wise, this is my first Souls-like game. I hated Armored Core 5 because it was so difficult. I did not enjoy 5 or Verdict Day. I couldn't beat it. Armored Core 6, this is the first Armored Core in 10 years. I had to beat this game just because it's been 10 years since the last Armored Core release. And the prices for the old games are ridiculous. I wish I haven't sold my games. They're like $80 to $100. It's like crazy. I would love to replay them again, but I won't be able to. Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. The difficulty spike, once you get over that, like, you're going to enjoy the game. I enjoyed the game. I love the game. I wish there were more parts. That's the only downside. It plays and feels like a typical Armored Core game. Feels, when you're doing missions, it's just really a lot harder when you're playing against the bosses in a game, you know? I hope this game does good. It seems to be doing good. And people like enough to where they make a Armored Core 6.5, like they have done with all the other Armored Cores, like Armored Core 6 Fires of the Raven, or Armored Core 6 like Fires of Rubicon Reawakening, something like that in general. But yeah, I like really recommend this game a lot. There's like hidden stuff you can find too. They have like little Easter eggs to throwback games. I'm just amazed about this game. I could keep saying that over and over again. This game is amazing. This game, man, this game. You have your typical, corporation battling it out on a random planet, and it reminds me so much of Armored Core 3, Armored Core 2, and spoilers ahead, of like the AI taking over, which is all mind, like they have done in the past, like in Raven's Nest. This is a huge throwback to past Armored Core games, and it's full of new stuff for new players. I'm kind of sad that when people drop the game, they say they can't do it, but then I'm also happy when people continue playing the game and they get through it, and I see these posts on Reddit, they're like, I finally beat this boss, this is my build, this is what I did, or on Twitter, they're like, I beat it, this is what I finally did. And I'm like, congratulations, because I've used Twitter, I used YouTube, I used Reddit from these other players, just going through. The community is great in that aspect, encouraging each other's builds. It really is. I'm glad to see the community like that. The only downside is when you have the solo players, kind of just getting in there and making fun of some Armored Core players and being like, oh, you can't do this, da, 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 and it's way harder. Da, da. What the game made the game easy in some aspects was the repair kits, because in past Armored Cores you couldn't repair yourself until after the mission. It's like that was your health. But then again, it does have its hard points. And being able to reassemble after a checkpoint. You had checkpoints in the missions. I don't even remember if you had checkpoints in the old games. You might have, but that was my review of Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, or in this case, Armored Core Armored Souls. I'm not going to talk any more about this. I don't know why I have this little pitchfork thing. Because I'll just be ranting. But this is Chihirocherry. Thank you for, if you made it this far. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't. I also stream on Twitch. And I hope you like this review.